bill that allows virtual participation in parole hearings has passed the Senate. Currently, incarcerated people cannot participate in their own parole hearing. Senate Bill 240's sponsor by Senate Will Barfoot allows them to participate by way of video conference or over the phone. This isn't Barfoot's first attempt at getting this kind of legislation passed, as previous attempts have fizzled out. Victims of Crimes and Leniency, a nonprofit known as Vocal, was previously against such law, but soon began to work with lawmakers to give victims and their families the same option. Thanks to them work between the both of them for those in parole and lawmakers, this bill allows all sides to participate in this important process.
This bill is a good example of how we can all work together. And sometimes we are at odds, but in this situation, it proves that, we can come together and talk about the issues that both sides of the table have and come up with some good solutions. And I feel like that's what happened here. And I do appreciate the opportunity for us to be heard about what we could do, to help victims. And, so I think it's going to be a good program.
Miller says with the many challenges victims and their families face to attend these parole hearings, such as traveling long distances, this would be a great help. The bill now heads to the House of Representatives.